A legion of the Food Kingdom was originally terrified under the power of the world, falling into the wilderness without resistance. When they heard Luo Feng's voice between heaven and earth, they were secretly relieved. This terrifying existence, Luo He, is however merciful and didn't take out his anger on us eternal true gods. If he was more ruthless, I'm afraid that with a single thought, we would all have to be annihilated. These eternal true gods of the Food Kingdom Legion were grateful instead. Luo He, God King, truly merciful. It didn't affect us. The many chaos realms of the Food Kingdom also had a bout of fear. Although they all had some resurrection carriers, if their true bodies were destroyed and their treasures were lost, it would still cause them a lot of heartache. Under normal circumstances, a God King would not bully the small with the big. However, during the war between the two kingdoms, God Kings would be much more cruel and vicious in their methods. Some God Kings would slaughter indiscriminately. Like the Tian Kuan Kingdom Lord of the Food Kingdom, when capturing the enemy kingdom, he would completely flatten the capital of the enemy kingdom, leaving no living beings in the kingdom capital. There were also some God Kings who took advantage of wars to go on a rampage, devouring several cities. There were also some such as the Snow Realm Ancestor, who often set off monstrous sins even when there were no wars. So to these weaklings during the war between the two kingdoms, Luo Feng doesn't even anger the weaklings. Is definitely considered to be very benevolent among the God Kings. Luo He, God King, gave us a day to hurry and leave. The war has escalated now. It's not for us to intervene. One by one, the Chaos Realms took the initiative to put away the legions under their command and quickly hurried away. With the legions alone, it was still a bit difficult to escape the Yu Kingdom's territory in a day. But Chaos Realms escaping with them, that was much faster. Luo Feng's power of the world enveloped the 12 Chaos States. The commotion was so great that one of the powerful existences on the Origin continent detected the commotion. This Luo He just became a God King, and he can control the range of 12 Chaos States? A powerful God King from the Flame Wind Ancient Kingdom noticed this, and there were even several emperors paying attention as well. There should be no doubt from the range of his power of the world enveloping him that he's reached the invincible first level of God King. There are a few contemporary generations who have become invincible at the first level God King without the help of external forces, but just became a God King. Reached this step? In the history of the Origin continent, Luo He should be the third. The first one to reach this step after just becoming a God King was the Earth God King. The second was Emperor Qing, and the third is this Luo He. Although the Earth God King was only in the second level God King, he was able to cross the ranks and fight against Emperor Qing and the emperors. He was even surrounded and killed by many monarchs of the Thunder Ancient Kingdom, but he was still able to escape and is still at large. Emperor Qing, there's even less to say. This Luo He has terrifying potential. Most of the God Kings of the Flame Wind Ancient Kingdom didn't cultivate the chaotic origin bloodline, and were still sober and rational enough to know that they should befriend Luo He instead of being enemies. Another powerful one out of these idol cultivators? The God Kings on the Thunder Ancient Kingdom side sensed the situation on the Yu Kingdom side from afar. The Ancestor is still too merciful. If the two Ancestors were to join forces and completely monopolize the resources of the entire Origin continent, where else would it be the turn of these idol cultivators? They wouldn't have a chance to grow at all. If this Luo He were in the Imperial family, I'm afraid that he is expected to reach the ultimate level. But as an idol cultivator, it is estimated to be just a new Earth God King. The Thunder Ancient Kingdom God Kings chatted idly and didn't care. In terms of peak level battle power, both Imperial families had an absolute advantage. Luo Feng's talent potential at most made the Thunder Ancient Kingdom God Kings pay attention. There weren't many strong people in the Origin continent that could cause them to pay attention, and Luo Feng was already counted as one of them. The last time I invited him to enter my Two Worlds Palace, he didn't agree. There's no rush. He'll feel the pressure of the two great Imperial clans. At a restaurant in an ordinary city, a man drinking wine looked at the direction of the Yu Kingdom with a smile. His aura was ordinary. Even emperors and monarchs wouldn't find him special. Shadow Heaven World. The long-haired figure sitting cross-legged within the pavilion, his power penetrating into the outside world, similarly sensed the vast world power of the Yu Kingdom that enveloped the 12 Chaos States. Luo He, gradually his brilliant begins to bloom. The long-haired figure whispered softly. Luo Feng had killed a messenger of the Shadow Heaven World back then, and the Lord of the Shadow Heaven World, instead of being angry, was happy. Just became a God King and has the strength of invincible first-level God King. Even for me, who became a God King for thousands of epochs ago, I was able to achieve an invincible first-level God King with real blade without the help of an external blade. This Luo He's talent is truly terrifying. The more terrifying, the better. The power of the top level of us idol cultivators still too weak. The long-haired figure looked at Luo He from afar. This Luo He is still weak. Currently, he can only be considered at the threshold of the hegemonic level. He pleased at Luo Feng's growth, but he also knew that Luo Feng couldn't get involved in the fights at his level. Being invincible in the first level of God King was considered a hegemon of the origin continent, but this was the minimum line for a hegemon. Like the Tian Kuan Kingdom Lord, who was in the second level God King and practiced the chaotic origin bloodline, he was considered a normal hegemon, and his deterrent power was much stronger than Luo Feng. The capital of the Food Kingdom, inside the royal palace. This Luo He even dared to intervene in the war between the two kingdoms? Wuxiang ancestor was shocked and furious, looking at the distant sky. Luo Feng's huge face loomed over a dozen chaos states. With the strength of a God King, even in the capital of the Food Kingdom, he could still see it from afar. The four God Kings saw it from afar. All of them were shocked and angered and pressurized. The fact that the power could envelop more than a dozen chaos states already proved one thing. Luo Feng's strength had indeed reached the hegemonic level. Big brother. He expelled the Food Kingdom army we sent. Wuxiang ancestor asked eagerly, how should we respond? If we endure, I'm afraid we'll become a joke to the entire origin continent. The Tian Kuan Kingdom Lord sat there, looking at the sky with a huge face, and blandly said, endure? The plan this time was made by me and my close friends. This Luo He can't stop it on his own. The four God Kings were relieved to hear that. Big brother, what's next? The Blade Devil God King asked. He is the Emperor's personal disciple. He still has to give face. Tian Kuan Kingdom Lord calmly said. Ku Feng, you are good at the clone technique. Send a clone to meet Luo He. Inform Luo He to quickly retreat, and I can pretend that it never happened. If he continues to meddle in this matter and obstruct it, I will definitely make him pay a painful price and regret it. Yes. The Ku Feng God King answered the order. Of the 5 God Kings in the entire Food Kingdom, only the Ku Feng God King was good at the clone technique, and it was because of the clone technique that he had been invited to join by the Tian Kuan Kingdom Lord, and there were a lot of things that were suitable for the Ku Feng God King to handle. This war, it was the will of the Kingdom Lord and a few second-level God King. Is this matter going to be told to Luo He? Ku Feng God King asked. Tell him. Tian Kuan Kingdom Lord said calmly. Prevent him from getting confused. Yes. The Ku Feng God King was more confident. Luo Feng's face that enveloped more than a dozen chaos states looked in the direction of the Food Kingdom's capital from afar. He had made such a big move that multiple forces in the origin continent were aware of it, and the several God Kings of the Food Kingdom must have known about it as well. Here's coming. Luo Feng sensed a figure appearing in the wilderness. It was a golden skeleton figure. This golden skeleton figure looked at Luo Feng with a smile. Ku Feng God King? Luo Feng recognized the other party. Ku Feng God King also practiced the great Tao of life origin, but his strength was far worse than the Snow Realm ancestor, and far worse than Luo Feng. But he was also able to condense numerous skeleton clones. Great Tao of life origin is like this. In terms of fight and kill aspect, although inferior, but life-saving aspect is too much stronger. Luo He God King. Ku Feng God King was still humble in front of Luo Feng and smiled. I don't know what promises the Yu Kingdom Lord gave you, but let me make it clear. The intention of this war between the two kingdoms is not to exterminate Yu Kingdom. Behind this war is the decision of my Kingdom Lord, the Tian Kuan Kingdom Lord, as well as several second-level God Kings. If you stop me, it's not just my Kingdom Lord who will be offended. There are also several other existences at the same level. The Ku Feng God King said, I came here because I also hope that Luo He God King will understand the key to this and retreat early. My Kingdom Lord will also not care about it anymore. Luo He God King and our Food Kingdom will still be friends. Don't care? Luo Feng said, the Tian Kuan Kingdom Lord is tolerant enough. My Kingdom Lord loves to make friends, and he also loves to make friends like Luo He God King. Ku Feng God King said, unfortunately, Yu Shui Kingdom Lord is my good friend. Luo Feng looked down and said leisurely, I have promised Yu Shui Kingdom Lord, so naturally I won't break my promise and betray my friend. As soon as the Ku Feng God King heard this, he felt bad. This time, all of the Food Kingdom's troops will retreat, and I can no longer pursue the matter of your invasion on behalf of the Yu Kingdom. Luo Feng looked down. In this way, it will also be considered to have defused this war. You won't pursue this? Ku Feng God King couldn't help but say, "Did Luo He God King not understand? This is the joint decision of my kingdom lord and a few close friends. Are you sure you really want to stand in the way? I promised the Yushui kingdom lord, so naturally I have to fulfill it." Luo Feng looked down below. "Go back and tell the Tianquan kingdom lord that the Yu kingdom, I'll guarantee it. Don't force me to make a move. Luo He God King, I kindly reminded you, yet you remain unrepentant." The Ku Feng God King warned, "I can tell you that you will definitely pay a huge price if you are bent on having your way. It will be too late to regret it then. You also tell the Tianquan kingdom lord that once he makes his move, he will also be about to pay a terrible price." Luo Feng coldly said, Good, good, good. Ku Feng God King said, "There's no need for this clone of yours to leave." Luo Feng looked at him coldly. Terrifying world power instantly gathering on this clone of the Ku Feng God King, crushing it to pieces in an instant. Crushing a clone of God King represented Luo Feng's attitude. Far away from the capital of the Food King, the Tianquan Kingdom Lord had been paying distant attention to the entire process of the negotiations. And after Luo Feng crushed that Ku Feng God King's clone, Tianquan Kingdom Lord's face also turned completely cold. Invincible first level of God King, barely reaching the threshold of a party hegemon. And you dare to be so arrogant? The Tianquan Kingdom Lord rose up, and the heavens and earth seemed to shaken. I will let him know what price he should pay for ignoring my goodwill and still trying to offend me. Boom. The Tianquan Kingdom Lord instantly disappeared.